How the race of men first set foot on the continent of Tamriel may forever be lost to the mists of antiquity. Yet according to myth, when a civil war split the mighty northern kingdom of Atmor asunder, the legendary warrior Ysgramor led a vast host of his people south in search of a new land where they might live in peace. After a perilous journey across the icy waters of the Sea of Ghosts, they arrived in an untamed and beautiful wilderness, marked by snow-capped peaks, deep valleys, and ancient forests. The first settlers named this place the Throat of the World. Today, it is simply Skyrim. On the coast of this new frontier, a great city known as Saarthal was founded, which flourished as thousands migrated to seek out a new life of opportunity or adventure. Yet Ysgramor and his settlers were not the first to call this land home. The race of Myr, known to men as elves, had long before dwelt here, though they soon became threatened as men from all areas of the world pushed deeper into the continent. During what would become known as the Night of Tears, these snow elves attacked the men of Saarthal, sacking the city and reducing it to a burning ruin. Ysgramor and his sons fled back across the Sea of Ghosts to their former homeland, bringing with them tales of the beautiful country they had discovered and the elven treachery and barbarism that drove them away. Modern scholars differ on what motivated this attack, with some saying it was elven fears of men spreading unchecked across the land, while others have speculated that an ancient and powerful artifact was discovered beneath the city, which forced the elves to act. Whatever the reason, Ysgramor rallied the people of Atmora and gathered an army that would become known as the 500 Companions. Once more, he crossed the Sea of Ghosts to avenge Saarthal and retake Skyrim, sparking the beginning of a new era known to history and legend as the Return. Across the whole of Skyrim, the armies of men and elves fought a long and brutal struggle until finally the resolve of the Snow Elves was exhausted, and their kind was all but wiped out. Without the elves to hinder their migration, the 500 Companions led a great expansion across Skyrim. Great new cities such as Whiterun and Windhelm were founded, and over the centuries, as they pushed ever onward, the men of Skyrim uncovered some of the deepest mysteries and secrets of the world. The ancient practice of worshipping dragons was widespread across Skyrim, brought across the Sea of Ghosts and encouraged by the dragons themselves. Alduin the World Eater was worshipped above all others, believed to be the most powerful dragon and the harbinger of the apocalypse. The reign of Alduin and his dragon cult was marked by cruelty, however, and in time, the men of Skyrim rebelled. At first, thousands perished in flame, until, it is said, the Adric goddess of the storm herself intervened, convincing the dragon Parthenax to betray his brother Alduin and teach the Thune to humanity, a powerful form of voice magic which utilized the dragon language to form shouts of immense power. With this new knowledge, the tide swiftly turned. The dragons were hunted down, and their cultists killed or overthrown. Alduin himself was said to have perished atop Skyrim's highest mountain, destroyed by 3 of Tamriel's greatest heroes with the aid of an Elder Scroll, a powerful artifact said to exist outside of time. Today, the final remnants of that conflict are the giant dragon mounds, where the last of the cult entombed themselves alongside the corpses of fallen dragons, in the hopes of one day being resurrected by Alduin, born anew. The defeat of the dragons marked a new era for Skyrim. King Harald, 13th of the Ysgramor dynasty, renounced all claims to their ancestral homeland of Atmora, declaring his kingdom a new nation and his subjects a new people, the Nords. Across the eras, the kingdom of Skyrim's fortunes waxed and waned. It conquered new lands to the south and west, only to lose them centuries later to attacks by elves, orcs, and others. In time, Skyrim itself would become part of the Third Tamrielic Empire, not as a conquered subject, but as a willing member. When the Nords first encountered the legendary Emperor Tiber Septim and witnessed him use the Thu'um, they recognized him to be the blood of the dragon and a worthy heir to the empires of men. When the Imperial legions marched to unify the remainder of Tamriel, the Nords were among them. Successive dynasties have ruled the Empire since, but the status of Skyrim has remained largely unchanged, even as Imperial rule begins to fracture, challenged by the Thalmor elves of the Aldmeri Dominion. Today, Skyrim is the northernmost province in the Empire, stretching from the frigid northern coastal cities of Solitude, Dawnstar, and Winterhold to the more temperate regions to the south, known as the Rift. Skyrim has the highest mountains in all of Tamriel, but they are surrounded by plenty of arable farmland, and the oceans, rivers, and forests provide more than enough fish and game for most Nords to live comfortably. Skyrim itself is divided into 9 holds, each governed by a hereditary appointed Jarl. While each Jarl has full jurisdiction over their hold, each swear fealty to the High King or Queen of Skyrim, who in turn rules in the name of the Emperor of Tamriel. The High King or Queen of Skyrim rules for life or until abdication, in which time the Jarls will form a moot to select a new ruler for the province if no suitable heir is named. While Skyrim remains a province of the Greater Empire, it has always been a land apart, separated from the rest of Tamriel by its people, religion, and culture. The often brutal climate and frequent wars have molded the Nords into capable warriors with both an innate resistance to the cold and a fierce and uncompromising attitude. In times of war, both men and women take up arms willingly to defend their lands and lifestyle. The Nords are a very religious people, venerating nature and placing special importance on the wind. Kine, the Nordic name for the Adric goddess of the storm, represents the breath and life force of the Nords and was said to be responsible for first teaching men to speak. Of the remaining Nordic pantheon, the Warship of Talos, known to the Nords as Ysmir, is the most contentious. Known in life and beloved by the Nords as Emperor Tiber Septim, it is believed that upon his death he ascended to godhood. The terms of peace in the White Gold Concordat that ended the Great War between the Empire and the Aldmeri Dominion included a condition that the Warship of Talos be banned, although this has been widely ignored in Skyrim despite the danger. This has fostered a deep resentment between the Nords and the rest of the Empire, and now all of Skyrim is beset by civil war. Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm, is seen by many as the rightful High King of Skyrim, a liberator who personifies the Nordic spirit of freedom. To the Imperials, he is a traitor, a man who hungers only for power and has committed many acts of cruelty. Others say Ulfric is simply an unknowing puppet of the Aldmeri, a destabilizing influence let loose across Skyrim to further weaken the Empire in preparation for a renewed attack by the Elves. Whatever his true motivations, his miraculous escape from Imperial authorities mere moments before his execution has become the stuff of legends. Witnesses say he called a dragon using the Thu'um, while others claim this is impossible since Ulfric was bound and gagged. Some also whisper that this dragon was not called by Ulfric at all, that this was Alduin come again, who once more flies above Skyrim on black wings in the cold, with a hunger to swallow the world. The Templin Institute investigates alternate worlds and realities. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to directly support us, vote in polls to determine future topics, and receive some cool rewards, please consider pledging to our Patreon page.